Running this way, I saw. Just kidding. That's what we're hiding behind on.
I just want to let you know that we're recording and streaming this live. And that's my microphone there, and I just turned it off. Right now it's just a general room murmur, but just saying that as being the closest person, you don't want to lean over to whoever sitting here and go, so,
It's Jim Diodati wearing today.
yeah, so I'll let you guys know.
Thank you.
Nobody else will really have to worry about it. Whoever sits here, I'll kind of let that know.
Great to know.
Now you don't have to worry, but later on when it quiets down, it's a pretty good microphone.
Yeah, never know. Yeah, I was wondering about that actually. So, yeah.
2 weeks.
I was thinking, well, we won't be on it until over 10, but it might. Ron, can I just like that's funny. Red program is open anytime. There's no deadlines for application process. talking about that, how on OT and he's quite unaware sometimes that everyone is seeing them. Yeah. Or doing things.
It's her foster brother. That's true. That's all it is. Like that.
It could be a rock or a ship. Yeah. There's many hours. Yeah. Well, they now he's getting and sedated. That's one of the things. Wasn't responding to the yeah, it seemed to have
Guys, you ready to get started? We'd like to get started. Ladies and gentlemen, please make your way to your table.
God keep our land glorious and free. Oh, Canada, we stand on guard for thee. Protégera nos foyers, nos toits. Well, thank you to Caitlin and
Catherine from the Cape Public Schools. That is one hard act to follow. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome. Good afternoon, everyone. It's great to be here today with my favorite mayor, and you know who you are, and you may or may not be here, and you may or may not be a female or a male, but you know who you are, my favorite mayor. I'm Diodati. I'm the Executive Director of the Fort Colborne, Wainfleet, Welland, Pelham, and Niagara Falls Chambers of Commerce. I'm so pleased that for the past 10 years, my three chambers, along with the Fort Erie Chamber of Commerce, have been able to present this event to you. Your local chambers are working hard to ensure a strong, viable business environment. We're fortunate to have amazing people dedicated to our respective organizations. Many of them are here with us today, and I'd like to ask that all of our directors, appointees, and staff members of our chambers please stand. Wait. Thanks to each and every one of you, your commitment allows us to continue to thrive and do the important work that we do for our members. We also have a number of local dignitaries with us today, including our regional chair, Alan Caslin. I think there he is, with a great wave. And many regional and municipal councillors who have taken the time to join us. In the interest of time, I'd ask that you please all stand. Give us a little wave. I know you're here. I'd like to thank all of you for all of the time and commitment that you put into your roles. It's not an easy job, and it's not always an appreciated one, but thank you. I'd like to extend our thanks to our major sponsor, Penn Financial. Bob Watson and his team do a great job of supporting all of our communities, and we always appreciate it. You guys are the best. Thank you to Penn Financial. I'd also like to thank Grant Thornton, who's been a sponsor of this event since day one. So many thanks to James Brennan and Chris Kuzniami, who are here with us today, somewhere here. Also, many thanks to Marcus and his team from Pandora Productions for our audio needs, making us sound so great. Thank you. And also thanks to Kevin Jack from WeStream, who is live streaming our event today. Thank you for that. I'd also like to thank, yeah, why not? Finally, I'd like to thank the staff here at the Italian Hall. They were fabulous to work with, especially Carmela. I'm sure you're in for a wonderful meal. And that's it for now. Enjoy your lunch.
Chatting about doing an animation, which I believe to do with rideshare. So that holding up on we had sort of been chatting it out, throw stuff back and forth. You know, she actually, did she finish it now?
chicken cutlets.
open up this little tiny fishing area. More for cameras, fill the place in. And the party goes on for hours. A lot of people will go early in the morning, and then by midday they've done seeing everything that's going on. They're not doing anything at that point. So they make this a day trip. Yeah, that's right.
This is your big meal, and then just eat yogurt for dinner. That's my plan. Even though it wasn't, I spent enough money.
That'll come, eh?
One year you want to be the first year. Yeah. But they did have to relate for work, so they did show up and they did like cataloging, like really kind of make her jobs like she really likes it really and she said it actually because they're right. It's not my work. Part of the rate. The reports down to answer because they have to get type right, you know, when they say something and they get all to get typed in. Like all that. So sometimes you know, if it's a lot of
Right here. Hey, right here. Right here.
have your attention, please, everybody? Hello. I'd like to begin by saying good afternoon, everyone. I hope you enjoyed your meal. We certainly did at our table. On behalf of Penn Financial Credit Union and my colleagues who have joined me here today, it is our sincere pleasure to sponsor this year's Southern Tier Mayor's Luncheon. I would like to thank our Southern Neighborhood Chamber of Commerce chapters for hosting this important and very informative event. Our dedicated chambers provide leading voices for Niagara businesses. They also provide exceptional value to their members, and they continue to fulfill an integral role in the growth and development of communities right across Niagara. It is important for us to support initiatives like today's luncheon because we all know the value of working together to make Niagara stronger. This is similarly true for the organization I work with, which is Penn Financial, because we are a truly local credit union that provides financial products and service and advice for every stage of life to people from the Niagara region. One of our many community initiatives that we are especially proud of is our Skates for Kids program that has supported 9 schools just here in the Niagara South tier during the recent years, including one of our 2016 partner schools, which is DeWitt Carter Elementary School, located right here in Port Colborne. During the years that we have had the Skates for Kids program, we have now given out over 3,500 pairs to local elementary students to help them do something that in our lives we have all just naturally taken for granted. So in a few weeks' time, we'll be hitting the ice with these young people from the DeWitt Carter School, and most of those students will have never skated before, and primarily due to a lack of financial wherewithal. So it is an initiative that we're absolutely delighted to be a part of and to have developed for the youth of Niagara. It really is great fun. So rewarding to watch these young people hit the ice, and when they first get on, they cannot skate, most of them at all. And by the end of the hour or hour and a half, these kids, most of them, many of them, are skating around the ice with these huge grins on their faces, absolutely delighted to do something, as I said, that we have always taken for granted. While we do important work, though, at Penn Financial, we take it very seriously. We try to use a little humor to show that we also have a fun side. Here's a short video that offers a glimpse of who we are and how we are working to improve lives and strengthen our Niagaran communities. Hope you enjoy this video. Thank you.
When people think of Niagara, this is what they see. But those of us that are from Niagara know that we're more than just a few easily drops of water trickling down a cliff. We are the rich soil of a region that provides an abundance of horticultural greatness. We are not only the farmers that cultivate its growth, but the wine snobs that savor its excellence. Smells like a VQA. We are more than just one wonder of the world, and everyone living here knows it. We're more like a million bajillion wonders. But there is only one credit union in Niagara that is exclusive to our magnificent region. Only one credit union that invests all of its dollars, time, and talent back into Niagara. And that's us. Penn Financial! Niagara's truly local credit union. See, our credit union offers all the products and services a bank would, except with warmth. You know, like a human being. We know our members as if they were members of our own family.
See you at dinner, but I didn't invite you. I'll bring the salad.
You see, we are committed to guiding you through all the stages of your life. So that means getting you a student loan so you can purchase your first car, and high-fiving you when you graduate with honors. Then we'll help you get your first mortgage and fist pump you when you marry a gorgeous babe. Or, you know, we can babysit for you. Let me ask you this. Does your current financial institution ask you how you want your money spent? At Penn Financial, you're not a number. You're a member. And we'll call you by name. Right, Jim?
It's Terrence.
Oh, Jim. When you invest with us, that means that your hard-earned coin helps your fellow neighbors achieve things. Like helping Melvin the Marvelous Magician open his own business. Or sending Lucy to Cooperative Young Leaders Camp. Or sending Aaron's triplets to Brock University. Please take one. Aaron. You see, we care about our members like they're our own family, and we partner with them to ensure that their future is safe and their dreams become a reality. Can you pass the potatoes? Thanks, Jim. It's Terrence. Jim. And it's this kind of care that allows us to grow together, in the home and in the community. You see, we are Niagara, truly local banking. And it's our mission to create a lifetime of banking made lighter. Now, who can hook a sister up with some gravy?
Gotta love that awkward silence we have. Okay, let my colleagues get seated there. It's not rocket science, Jim. Okay, I'd like to welcome everybody here again this year, and it's great for me. I only had a 15-minute drive, so Alderman Conk, I won't be charging for mileage for coming here today. So we're going to play a little game today, and it is called Your Fellow Regional Councillors. The 5 mayors here will be the contestants, and I will be your charismatic and dazzling host. So we will, thank you. So we'll start off today with very brief introductions of our contestants. And it's not going to go in any particular order, although it looks like they might have seated themselves almost the way I wanted them to, so they can read my mind. So we'll start off. This particular mayor may not be a giant like his counterpart, Sandy Annunziata, but he does pack a big punch both in council chambers and in the courtroom. Please help me welcome wonderful Wayne Redekop. Sorry, I stumbled on that one. Whatever you need and whenever you need it, this little ball of fire will step up to the plate, no questions asked. And she's doing a fine job currently leading the city of Port Colborne. A round of applause for Deputy Mayor B. Kenny. Our next mayor is definitely a leader in community engagement and getting the job done, and his alabaster skin has never seen a day in the sun. Please help me welcome Diamond Dave Augustyn. I just want to pause for a minute. Whenever I get up to roast, I have the hardest time with Mayor Dave because Pelham is perfect. Like, there's never scandal. They're always, good things are happening in Pelham, and they're like the utopia of the Niagara region. So we need scandal to make my job easier. This next mayor rolls up his sleeves and really listens to the community, whether it be town hall sessions or walks along Merritt Island. He can often be seen sipping martinis with his friends from his office balcony overlooking the canal. Oh, I wasn't supposed to tell anybody that, sorry. Please put your hands together for fabulous Frank Campion. And finally, I saved the best for last. This mayor enjoys long strolls in Fireman's Park, cookouts and bonfires in his backyard, well, for now anyway. Wait for it. And dreams of a day when his city is actually part of South Niagara. Let's give it up for Jazzy Jim Diodati. Okay, so Dolores wants me to speed this up. I have this whole big elaborate game show planned out, so we're gonna have to go quick, so you're gonna have to put on your thinking caps. So remember, it's how well do you know your fellow regional councillors. You have your air horns there, so whoever sounds the air horn first gets to answer the question. We may or may not go on to a second person. I think it's gonna be hard for me to even know who, so I'm just gonna pick. It's just gonna be wild. So, okay, so we will start off.
And some of these are very elaborate questions that really don't have any truth to them, so, but they're funny, I think anyway. So we'll start off. Niagara Falls Regional Councillor Bob Gale is known for his love and commitment to the rescue of feral cats, fuzzy feral cats, across Niagara. What famous hockey player did he name his stray tabby after? Oh my gosh. Nobody knows? All right, we'll move on. Sidney Crosby. At least Jim should have known that one. All right. Okay, true or false? Chair Caslin has been married over 30 years, and I'm not done. Premature. And sported a giant brown 80s mustache on the day of his wedding. That is true. I was going to call it a porn star mustache, but I didn't think that was appropriate. I can hear Dolores going, no, April, no. Okay. My next question. For Colborne Regional Councillor David Barrick's middle name, now this is complicated, so his middle name is the same as the first name of what Sesame Street character? Just take a guess. Ernie, yay! Oh, and I forgot, the points are worth, or the correct answers are worth 10 points. B gets 10,000 to start with, since she doesn't really know. Okay. Okay, this one, I don't know if there's a lot of, I did this one, and then I did some research, and I'm not sure how much truth there is to this, but Mayor Sandra Easton of Lincoln drives which of the following? A Jeep, B, a Kubota, and Frank and Jim, a Kubota is a tractor. C, a Ducati. Dave, a Ducati is a motorcycle. Or D, none of the above. None. That's right. So Dave gets 10 points. Okay. We'll move along here. How am I doing for time? Am I all right? Okay. Okay, what does the D in D. Bruce Timms stand for? A, divine, B, delicious, C, development charges, because he always declares a conflict, development charges, or D, the Black Douglas. Come on, we gotta speed it up. Okay, who's that, Dave? It is, and he said when I asked him, it's a good Scottish name. Okay, all right, moving along. I feel like I'm losing the crowd here. We gotta get everybody going. Okay, which...
Answer, shout it out.
Yeah.
Help, as you can see.
Which of the following regional councillors occasionally rests their eyes during one of our marathon council meetings?
Most of them.
That is true, Wayne. I'll just go through. It was A, but you pretty much got it right. A, Gary Burrows, B, Tim Rigby, C, George Marshall, or D, all of the above. All right. True or false? Henry D'Angela, Thorold Regional Councillor, and Carmen D'Angelo, CAO for the Conservation Authority, are actually brothers. However, they changed the vowel at the end of their names to avoid a conflict of interest. And the last name is actually D'Angelou. True or false? That's false, right. Okay, we'll give Frank some points. Okay, I'm wrapping this up, and finally, how many regional councillors does it take to make a decision? And I'm not going to let you answer. None, because we don't know when to just shut our mouths. Thank you for humoring us, and we'll move on to our question and answer portion.
Thank you very much, Mayor Jess. Can everybody hear me okay? I'm Vern Below and past chair of the Welland Pelham Chamber, and welcome everybody. I've been bestowed with the very dubious honor of trying to keep 6 mayors on time. So if you think that's easy, try again. Anyways, I'll get right into the first question, and we'll start with Mayor Redekop and work our way down to all 6 mayors and deputy mayors. And the question is, we last had the opportunity to hear from you at such an event on February 26th of last year. What has happened in your community since that time? So Mayor Redekop would like to start.
How much time do I have?
We have 2 minutes each, by the way, so this is going to be a real challenge.
Okay, so, this green, by the way, this is an homage to Kermit the Frog. In Fort Erie, we've got a big celebration coming up in June. It's the 150th anniversary of the Battle of Ridgeway. That's the Fenian invasion of Canada, where the Irish Brotherhood was going to capture Upper and Lower Canada. Then they were going to trade to bring for Irish freedom. Okay?
Hang on a sec.
Anyways, on June the 2nd to 4th, there's a big military presence going to take place in Ridgeway. The Queen's Own Rifles and the Royal Hamilton Light Infantry, which haven't spoken to each other in 150 years, are going to be gathering in Ridgeway. They're going to march, because of what happened at the Battle of Ridgeway, they're going to march from the Crystal Ridge Center out to Battlefield Park on Garrison Road. And they're going to make some plaque dedications, and there's going to be some ceremonies, and then they're going to march. They're going to take buses, I guess, back. It's too far for the military to walk. And they're going to, there'll be some festivities, some activities, what have you, and the public will be invited. The same weekend, there's going to be a historical seminar, and there's going to be a lot of discussions at the Clarion Hotel with respect to the intricacies of the Battle of Ridgeway. And then the following weekend, the Niagara Parks Commission will be holding its annual reenactment of the Battle of Ridgeway. That's the fun part of June. The big issues are moving forward with the Canadian Motor Speedway. We're gradually knocking down the obstacles to get to the application for site plan approval and building permits. And I can tell you, I've been authorized to announce that today there's going to be a signing of a memorandum of agreement between Canadian Motor Speedway and Brock University with respect to their sports management program, which is going to be another educational institution that is connected with Canadian Motor Speedway, and that's exciting for us because it brings post-secondary programming into Fort Erie, but it benefits obviously all of Niagara. And the Motor Speedway itself is going to be a game changer in terms of not just Fort Erie, not just Niagara, but all of Ontario with respect to the magnitude of that investment. That, coupled with the Niagara River Marina, which the Niagara Parks Commission is moving forward with, represents close to $600 million in investment. And we know that that investment is going to generate further investments because we've already got developers and entrepreneurs lining up with projects that we've been made familiar with and the region is aware of, that at the racetrack itself, the horse racetrack, there's a potential there for in excess of $250 million. So you add
10 seconds.
You add those three together, and just a little side story. Some of you know, may remember Tony Masiello, former mayor of the city of Buffalo. He and I went to a conference in Windsor shortly after I was elected the first time around, and it was about border mayors. So we each had 5 minutes to speak, and I spoke 5 minutes, as did most of the other mayors. After 12 minutes, Mayor Masiello was asked to end his comment, and I said, "That was interesting. That was a pretty long 5 minutes." He said, "I don't go anywhere to speak for 5 minutes." And my message is, I don't go anywhere to speak for 2 minutes. Just a couple of other things.
Thank you, Mayor. We do have air horns here, you know.
Yeah, just a couple of things very briefly. We've got a large development taking place at Bay Beach. We've gone through a master plan study. We're committed to make investments of $2 million to improve that facility, which will generate some economic activity and spur private investment down in the Crystal Beach portion of the town of Fort Erie. That's a major attraction in Fort Erie. There are church services that take place there on Sundays that attract anywhere between 5 and 7 thousand people. Think about that, a church service on a beach attracting over 5,000 people. On a busy weekend, on a hot summer day, there are over 10,000 people at that beach. That's a great opportunity for us to make further investments. And we're going to be looking and hopefully working with the region in terms of advancing those investments at Bay Beach. We're finishing an LED streetlight replacement program similar to Niagara Falls. $2.2 million, payback in about 8 to 10 years. So you guys are forgetting that I'm older now. One final thing, we're also finalizing an industrial land strategy because as we move forward looking at capturing and taking advantage of employment lands in Niagara, we want to make sure that Fort Erie provides the information and input to the region that is necessary to make sure that we get the allocation of industrial lands and employment lands that we require to make sure that we help Niagara grow. Thank you.
Thank you, Mayor Redekop. That's fantastic. And thank you, remaining mayors, for taking a minute off your schedule. Next, we'll hear from illustrious Mayor Dave Augustyn.
Thank you very much, Vern. I'm going to try and stick to this. We've had significant progress on the projects that I told you about at our last meeting last year. We had the groundbreaking for the primary services in the East Fawn Hill development area. That's the development at Rice Road and Highway 20. That was in June. You'll recall that it's an 80,000 square foot commercial retail complex that will include a grocery store, restaurants, various other retailers. And we approved that site plan last night at council, so there's going to be walls going up this year. That's also the area for the medical center with 5 to 10 family doctors and allied professionals, the 130 unit seniors complex, the home for Wellspring Niagara Regional Cancer Support Center, and the potential community center. Tonight, we're having a presentation about the revised and hopefully final designs for that community center, the costing for that, and also the financing options. So that's tonight in our very packed, going to be council chamber. We finished the reconstruction of downtown Fenwick, and we had the ribbon cutting in July, and we actually won a Regional Community Design Award for that, and also honorable mention at the National Landscape Architects Society of Canada. We started a transit pilot project in the fall, and thanks to the provincial government, we're using a private sector to provide conventional and specialized transit throughout our municipality. We approved the renovation and revitalization of the Maple Acre Library in Fenwick, and which is going to be completed this year. We won an award for our 5th annual Summerfest, which had almost 30,000 people attend the 4-day festival this year, and that was one of the top 100 festivals in Ontario. And finally, we approved for a 3rd year in a row a 0% change on water and wastewater rates, meaning that we're actually 20% lower than the next highest. 1 minute, 50 seconds.
Next, we have Mayor Campion from Welland.
Can you hear me? What if I talk loud?
Hello?
Hi, there we go. Okay, well, thank you very much. I'm just going to give, again, a brief update on what's occurred in the last 12 months or so, as Mayor Dave did, and I'll try to stick to my time as Mayor Redekop did. First of all, I'd just like to say that there's a lot of activity going on in Welland. It's been a very busy year, but we don't have the burning issues that they have in Niagara Falls. So, but I'm sure you'll straighten that out this evening, Mayor. I just want to give an update on construction activity in Welland. We've had a very good year in 2015. We have our dwelling units, we're up 12.5%, number of houses built up 27.7%, and single detached homes up 11.5%. So we're doing very well on the residential side in our market, and we're very happy to see that. I spoke about this at the last meeting that we had. It was about the CIP programs we have, particularly our Gateway Economic Zone. I just wanted to give a brief update on that. It's working extraordinarily well for us. First of all, it generates a lot of inquiries and a lot of activity in our Economic Development Office and our Planning Office and the rest of offices that are involved in this. What we've got right now, we have 2 CIP programs. Essentially, one of them deals with our downtown core / healthcare clusters. And we've got 10 projects on the go right now. 6 of them are completed, the rest will be completed very soon. But the neat part about this investment on behalf of the city is we've invested about $66,000 into the program, and that has incentivized, if that's a word, Jim, I think it is, provided an incentive for the private sector to invest over $1.2 million. So it's something that's really great investment for us. It's also acting as a revitalization tool for our downtown course. We're getting a lot of private investment through that program. On the Gateway CIPs, we've got 3 projects that have been approved. And the result of that is about 105 jobs in Welland, retention of 43 jobs, and an estimated 25 new jobs in the next 5 years just from those programs alone. So we can see that the CIPs are working not only in investment but job creation in Niagara, and it's a partnership with the Niagara region, as Wayne was talking about earlier. So we're really pleased to talk about that. A couple of regional initiatives, which I did want to bring forward, because it does show that there's a lot of cooperation between regional councillors, although sometimes it doesn't look like it, but there is a lot of cooperation, particularly amongst the mayors and the regional councillors as well. So a couple of things that have happened for Welland as a direct result of our representation being part of the region is that the region has seen fit to support Welland for construction of a new PAO courts in Welland. It's about a $13.5 million investment, I believe. We're very happy to see that. We, of course, like the investments and the jobs that come with it, but it's also being built in our downtown core, which again helps with that revitalization process, and it acts as a sort of a bookend to our downtown, so we've got a good anchor on that end of our downtown. The other thing that we're very happy about is a partnership between the city of Welland, the Regional Council, and our Welland Hydroelectric Corporation, and that's the lighting of the bridge. And we really thank the Regional Council for supporting that initiative. It's a fantastic looking result. I'm sure you've seen it, but if you haven't, it's well worth the trip to go down and look at it. So that's on our Main Street Bridge, number 13. And how much time I got, Dave? We're not timing it. Oh, okay, I'm just over. Last thing is, just on the investment side, City of Welland has now, or City Council has invested over $2 million in extra funding for our infrastructure. So again, the city's moving forward rapidly. We certainly enjoy the partnership we have with the region and other area municipalities. Thank you.
All right. Great, thank you, Mayor Campion. Next, I have a confession to make. Mayor Diodati gave me $20 to let him talk for another 2 minutes. But I just have to give it back to you, Mayor. I'm sorry, I got to keep everything on time. Anyways, we have Mayor Diodati speaking next for Niagara Falls, Jim Diodati.
All right, thank you very much. Well, first off, something I learned today I didn't know before, Councillor Barrick's middle name is Ernie. I didn't know that. That was really interesting. So, since we're handing out desserts, so Bert says to Ernie, says, Ernie, you want to go for some ice cream? And Ernie says, sure, Bert. Yeah. Can you have that back to him? I just blew off half a minute with that bad joke. I can't believe it. Anyway, gotta have a little bit of fun, a little bit of humor. I do want to say one thing before I give a quick overview of a few things happening in Niagara Falls. And I know Mayor Campion just made mention of it, but we at the region are getting along better than has ever happened before. I know we've got our chair in the room, a number of regional councillors in the room, and staff that are here, and they all take credit for this, but we don't have the parochialism that was once there, and we're making a lot of decisions that are what's best for the region, not what looks best for our community. So I just want to say I'm very proud to sit up here with all these mayors and work with the rest of the mayors around the region, because finally we're rowing the boat together. We've always said if you row the boat on one side, you go in circles. And if you row opposing on each side, you go faster in circles. Well, we're actually going somewhere. We're taking the region somewhere. And it was evident when we heard the huge news for the region finally mentioned in the budget for the first time ever at Queen's Park, GO train coming to Niagara. And you need to realize that's not just about a train. It is so much more than a train. You just have to look around the greater Golden Horseshoe to see what happened to Mississauga, Oakville, Burlington, and now Hamilton. Hamilton is on fire. You know, right now, if you don't bid $100,000 more than the House is asking, you're probably not going to get it. And it's coming this way. A lot of exciting economic opportunity here in Niagara. We're very excited. Real briefly, I'm just going to touch on a couple of tourism initiatives. Niagara Falls is experiencing the best tourism season in decades. Matter of fact, we're so excited that we're now reinvesting through our illumination board. We're putting new lights on the falls. If you haven't already heard about this, those light casings that are on the falls right now are from the Battle of Britain from the 1940s. So we, through the illumination board, had a worldwide request for proposal. We had interesting proposals from every corner of the planet. We made our final selection. It's going to be installed this fall. It'll be 4 times the brightness. We realized how dull it had looked until we had Nick Welland walk across the falls and Red Bull crashed ice with auxiliary lighting. We appreciated how much better it could look. And I had a number of people tell me over the last few years, or come to me and ask, why are the lights off of the falls? And depending on which way the mist blows, they look like they were off. Have you ever driven in the fog and you put your brights on? It doesn't make things any better. And that's exactly the situation on the mist. So what we've done, we've repositioned the lights to come from Table Rock, from down below where the Hornblower docks are. New intense LED lighting, which are 50% savings on the cost. And amazing amount of light. As a matter of fact, we're going to have, 16 million light combinations. It's going to be very, very exciting. I want to mention zip line. This May, we're going to open up a new attraction, a zip line, where you'll be able to take a zip line right down toward the falls. It's going to be very neat. That's the first new attraction in 8 years since the Sky Wheel and the Niagara Fury. And the other neat attraction that's coming is the new go-kart track. It's going to be Canada's first state-of-the-art coaster track. Very interactive, very fun. Because, once you've seen the falls and you've done the traditionals, people are looking for experiential tourism. What else can we do? Give us other reasons to come back. So I'm happy to say there's been a lot of reinvestment in tourism initiatives, and as well, I know everybody gives me the gears about our hosting agreement with the casino, because the city of Niagara Falls gets a percentage of the take of the casino. Well, the last 6 months have been the best 6 months in the history of the casino, which means our take has been up, which we're very happy to hear. And, it's a perfect storm of opportunity, none of which we have any control over. The dollar and the weather and the gas prices. So all three have converged. The stars are the line. Things are great in Niagara Falls, where 33,000 jobs are tourism related for the rest of the region. So we're happy to say, finally, things have worked out, and we're really excited about what's happening. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Diodati. That's fantastic. Next we have B. Kenny, who's the Deputy Mayor representing John Maloney, Mayor of Port Colborne.
Thank you. We'll start off to tell everyone that John is doing very well. He's on his road to recovery. He's getting rehab assistance from Shaver Hospital. So we're the first municipality to have a deputy. So I moved up into his spot as deputy mayor, but we had to assign somebody to be a mayor. So again, Port Colborne was first in everything, and so now we not only have a deputy mayor, but we have a deputy. We were told that wasn't quite right, but anyway, that's how it starts off. What's changed in Port Colborne? I had to do a little bit of research on this, because when you sit on council, things just happen, right? Because someone else is at the helm. Well, now that's me. So I just want to tell you that we spent a lot of money replacing water pipes from the terrible winter we had last year, about $600,000, but we're almost near that repair. We are doing a new operations center. Yay, our staff at City of Port Colborne have a pretty bad operations center, but that's all going to be out in the open. We received $2 million, guys, $2 million from the province for infrastructure, and infrastructure is on everybody's minds. So we're hoping we can tap into, doesn't the budget come out today for the feds? So we're hoping that there's some money there for more infrastructure, because we all gotta do that. And it's not just about infrastructure though. We started this year an arts and cultural master plan. We have beautiful Rose Lawn in Port Colborne, and now we're going to take better advantage of that with arts and culture plan. And we were the only, again, I have to brag about Port Colborne, we were the only municipality to receive a grant from the Ontario Senior Citizens Secretariat, and that was to engage our residents in the age-friendly needs assessment. Very, very important, guys, to get a broader prospect from you, the taxpayers, who we should all be listening to. Sometimes we don't pay close enough attention, but it's good for us. In business, our businesses are expanding. We have many manufacturing businesses I know we always worry about that. Everybody always asks, when are we going to get big industry in our city? Everybody asks the question. We all know that that's far gone. Big industries do not move into this area to set up. But anyways, we do have great small businesses, and small business means 50 here, 50 there, 150 there, and pretty soon all those add up to great employment in your city. Yesterday I had the privilege of handing off the top hat. It was great. It was just an exciting day to put the top hat on. Of course, I get the tallest fella that I've ever been, a Newfoundlander, and he came in and with him a barge. But programming, YMCA, as you know, is really growing in Port Colborne. We have doubled the volunteerism at the Y, which is great, because now that means the community has bought into it, and the community grumbled a bit when we spent money. I mean, we put in $7 million from the sale of our hydro, but with that $7 million, we were able to partner with the province, who threw in 7, and the feds that threw in 7, so we got $14 million free dollars to build a facility that is just outstanding for the whole region. So you have to leverage money to make money, and that's what we did in our marina. The jewel, everyone says jewel, the marina is our jewel, and in the upcoming season we already have 70 new customers. So that says a lot about what's going on there. So we are alive and well in Port Colborne, and we're expanding, we're moving, we've got great staff, and all that contributes to what your community is. When you got your taxpayers involved in decisions, that pays bonus bucks back. So thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Lastly, we have Niagara's Upstart Quiz Show host, April Jeffs from Wainfleet.
I just want to start off by saying that I am so thrilled, I was going to mention this earlier, to have a woman here for the first time since I've been doing this with these knuckleheads here. So, I'm so glad I was here. So in Wainfleet, we had a busy year last year. One of the big projects, we completed our floor and boards at our arena, and that was a major project, and I really credit our staff. They did a good job. They found a lot of value and savings when they did that, and we are set to do more renovations this year. And we did receive funding with the Canada 150 grant, so we're looking forward to moving ahead with that. And also, as part of the Canada 150, it might not sound like a big deal, but we had a resident in our community come to us suggesting we apply for the tulip grant to receive 150 tulip bulbs. And with Wainfleet having such a large Dutch community, we thought, well, how fitting is that? So we planted them at our new cenotaph, which we're still excited about. We're still reeling from the fact that we have this beautiful cenotaph, so those will be coming up soon, I would imagine. So that was a big thing. We had some of the local students help us plant them, and we made a real community thing out of it. Recently, we had approved the building of 2 new fire halls, so one out in Burnaby and one in Welland. So I think that'll kind of be tweaked as we go along, but that's the general idea. That we're going to move forward and do something about those buildings. And we're actually out driving the other night looking at the North Pelham Fire Hall. Very, very nice. So we may fashion after that. We want to keep things simple, but build something nice for all our vehicles. We also hired our new CAO, Michael Smith. He is here today. I won't make him stand up. He started yesterday, and then we brought him here and forced him to meet all these people and overwhelm him, but we're glad that he's here. I want to credit again our senior management. We were without a CAO because he abandoned us to the city of Port Colborne. Yeah, that's right, I'm eyeballing you, Scott. So our senior management did a really good job running the ship, because we're already, we run pretty lean in Wainfleet, but that was a little too lean, and so they did a really, really good job, and we're glad to have Michael aboard and welcome him. We continue to mitigate and enhance beach access in Wainfleet, and we are kind of completed a project at Augustyn Beach. We have a gate, we have the Conservation Authority help us with some foliage. Also, the lakefront enhancement strategy was a part of that. We received some funding, and we're looking at doing more to some of our beach accesses in Wainfleet. It's always difficult because we know that there are people within the township and outside of the township who want to come to our fabulous beaches, including Mayor Diodati. He's always raving about them. So this year I'm going to charge you, but anyway. So it's hard to find that balance between the residents who have to live beside these beaches and tolerate some of the behavior that happens, and then the people who want to access them. So it's always kind of an effort with communicating with those residents, but I think we've gotten a really good handle on it, and some of the kind of infrastructure that we're going to be putting in place will definitely help with that. We completed a water quality study in the boil water advisory area, and we did see substantial improvement, and we will continue with education in conjunction with the Niagara Region Public Health moving forward with that. And we are now live streaming council meetings, so everybody can watch us. I know some of them are very riveting meetings, and people just want to follow along on their Tuesday nights. But we're quite happy because we've never had Cogeco in Wainfleet, so there was no way for people to watch the meetings unless they actually came to council. So they can, these are now archived, as we know, and they can check them at their leisure. And we actually have the live streaming outfit, Kevin Jack, who does that for us, so we appreciate that. We hosted the firefighter, I can never say this right, the Firefighter Association of Ontario convention last year, and we'll be hosting it again this year. It was a huge success, and I really credit our volunteers for putting that together. I think they had 300 people camping. They did a parade. We didn't get any complaints from any of the surrounding neighbors, and they worked well with our public works staff, and it went off without a hitch, so we look forward to hosting that again this year. We did a 1.8% tax increase last year that included, that's not fair, everybody else went up, all right. We have a lot happening in Wainfleet. Okay, I'm almost done. 1.8% tax increase that included a 2% infrastructure levy increase, and we are currently working on budget tonight. So if anybody wants to follow along live streaming and watch how budget's really done in Wainfleet, then you can follow along. And I'll just mention, I'll end with, we were talking about development, and we don't usually talk about development in Wainfleet. We don't have a lot of development. We're not really poised for development. But we actually did have a record year for building. In 2015, we had 30 brand new builds, and I know that to some municipalities it doesn't sound like a lot, but our average was usually around 12. So to be up to 30 was really quite substantial, and not, you know, I had some residents saying, well, I don't know if I like that, but it was all kind of spread out throughout the township, and we're really quite proud of that. So with that, thank you. I will be quiet now and we'll move on.
Thank you, Mary Jo. In our next segment, we have questions that we're not going to go down the road, but any mayor that would like to pitch in, please do so. And if you lose your turn, you have your air horns, so you're welcome to use them. So the first question we have is the topic of inter-regional transit, a subject that everyone seems to agree upon, and not just South Niagara, but the entire region. Could one of the mayors perhaps comment on where we're at with regards to inter-regional transit?
Yeah, I'm happy. Mayor Campion and I and Mayor Senzik in St. Catharines are working with our CAOs, and you'll be happy to know we're the 3 municipalities that have a transit. We've got our transit experts coming together to create something that will service the entire region. And no, it's not a prerequisite for GO Train, but it's something we understand that's necessary. We've met with Brock and Niagara College. They've made it clear that we need rapid transit for the universities. People that come here need to get there in a reasonable time. 2 hours to get between communities or between institutions is unreasonable. It's not good enough. We're going to come up with something that's efficient, that's effective, that's going to move people around the region. We've gone out for our request for proposal. We'll be coming back with an update on this, but you're happy to know that we put our money where our mouth is. We've got our experts working on it. We will have, and we're working toward one regional transportation system as part of our regional transportation master plan, where we're looking at trains, buses, airports, we're looking at all means of transportation and looking to regionalize them to make them more seamless and more efficient.
Not bad, thank you very much.
I just wanted to add to that. Again, it's another show of cooperation amongst the municipalities within the region, and the 3 municipalities who have plans are working towards that goal. So the other part of that, the initiative, is it is a prerequisite for the fight against poverty. So we need to have regional transit so that people can get from point A to point B. We need to have a mobile workforce. We have people that living in Port Colborne or Welland who can get a job working in Niagara Falls or St. Catharines and vice versa. If they can't get to the job, then we're going to continue to have that cycle of poverty. So this is a great initiative for those purposes as well. Thank you.
Great, thank you very much. I'll move on to the next topic, or did you have
Sorry, I
something to
just want
comment?
to add one comment. The Economic Development Officer from Welland, Dan DeGizio, and I, this was several years back, we were all having a beer, just chatting, and at that time, Port Colborne was contemplating purchasing their own bus line, and he spoke up and said, well, why don't you get even some idle buses in Welland? Why don't your guys talk with our guys? And it just shows, like Frank said, when just chatting back and forth, you can get that collaboration, and that has worked out well for both municipalities. So that's great.
Well, thank you very much. It's good insight. We'll move on to our next question. This is a rather sensitive one from time to time, healthcare. In Niagara, it's certainly of significant importance to every single citizen. What is the future of healthcare in South Niagara, in particular the status of both the new hospital as well as existing hospital sites? So there's a tough one. So I don't know who even wants to take that one up.
How much time do we have left?
Yeah, I have to restrict this to 3 minutes. So.
Well, I'll after 3 minutes, maybe Jim won't be able to speak for it.
That'll be 20 minutes.
Obviously, it seems like it's controversial, and perhaps it is, depending on who's speaking. I think the objective is to make sure that all residents of particularly South Niagara have access to hospital care and to equitable access to hospital care. We may disagree from municipality to municipality. That's one of the areas that we may not come together on. However, from our perspective in Welland, we need to have a hospital. It doesn't have to be a large hospital, but we need to ensure that we have a hospital for a variety of reasons. The healthcare aspect is very important. Economic development is a big issue as well. As you have people moving into the community, they're looking for all the services. We've got Niagara College, we've got Rock, we've got all the services people are looking for. They're also looking for equitable health care and access to that health care. So I won't go any further except to say that Welland continues its fight for retaining a hospital in our city, and we're not going to give that fight up. You've read in the paper all sorts of things. The NHS has recognized the fact that we do need health services in Niagara. It's a matter of to what degree. So our position is we're going to talk to Hoskins and we're going to convince him or present our case that level has to be at the hospital level. So I'll leave it at that.
I'll let Jim talk, but I just wanted to add that Frank and April and John have been meeting on a regular basis about healthcare in our area, and it is extremely important. I want you to know that Port Colborne still has a rural medicine week where we bring in medical students and we introduce them to Port Colborne and to our physicians. I believe Dr. Bell is here. She's a strong advocate for talking to these students when they're young and interesting them in family medicine. A lot, they do their studies and they want to maybe move on to a specialty, and that's great, but we try to hook them early and say, we're open for business. I know we've come back, we've had some students come back a second and third time to our community, and that's what interested really in working in a small center, and we want to reach in our UCC as well, and we have been promised by the NHS that somewhere in the city of Port Colborne there will be a UCC, so that's what we're counting on. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Mayor.
I think it's important to realize, and this is the approach that we take with Pelham Council, that healthcare has changed through the years. So through technology advances, through advances in care, healthcare has changed since those hospitals were first built in Niagara, in Welland, in Port Colborne, and Niagara Falls. And so those procedures that you would stay in for multiple days are now done in a couple hours. And I think it's important for us to continue to evolve with healthcare as it evolves. And that's why Pelham is quite focused on, as I mentioned earlier, the medical complex, the 5 to 10 family doctors, plus the allied professionals. And also, we're focusing on an active community with bike trails and walking trails and a walking track in our new community center and recreational activities. Because we recognize that healthcare shouldn't start the moment that you enter the hospital. It should start well in advance of that, working with doctors and health professionals, etc. So from my perspective, I think it's really important to recognize how healthcare has changed through the years. Thank you.
Thank you, Mary Dave.
I just want to follow up on that. I was at the Holiday Inn St. Catharines in 1999 when David Sinclair gave the bad news that all of the hospitals in Niagara were going to become part of one system. And that's a trend that's been taking place, not just in Ontario, not just in Canada, not just in North America, all over the world. And it's hard to accept that type of change. And I'm still struggling with the type of changes that have taken place over the last 17 years, I guess now. But the reality is this discussion about healthcare, hospitals, services, it's really the old conundrum that the service clubs often get into. Do we put our money into a building? Do we put our money into serving the community? So the real focus here has to be the individuals. We as leaders, municipal leaders, need to focus on making sure that our residents have access to the health care that they need. It really doesn't matter if it's in this building or that building, whether it's called a hospital, whether it's called an urgent care center, whether it's called else. What's important to the individual who needs health care is, can I get it? Can I get it in a timely fashion? Can I get it without a lot of difficulty getting from point A to point B? That's what we need to focus on. The reality is there's going to be a new hospital in South Niagara. The reality is that's not going to take place for another several years because there's a lot of planning that has to take place. The reality is that every community isn't going to have an urgent care center. There isn't going to be an urgent care center in Welland, Erie, Port Colborne. That's not going to happen. We know there are only going to be 2, if they even do that. Because from the time that they first mentioned that, I can tell you that they're now evolving into something else. They're thinking about healthcare hubs. And your imagination can fill in the blank as to what that may mean. We have lots of places where there are people who need healthcare who are congregated already. Look at our senior centers. Those people have high healthcare needs. Look at the community health centers that are all about in our communities. And then talk about the urgent care centers. I'm not the provincial government, but if I were in the provincial government, I'd be trying to figure out how do I maximize those dollars that I have to allocate towards serving the residents, providing them with the health care that they need. So I know this is a difficult subject for all of us to talk about, and I'm quite pleased that we haven't been punching each other so far. But the reality is, we're all concerned about making sure that our residents have what they need. And part of the difficulty in ensuring that is trying to communicate to our residents that what they had in the past isn't going to be what they're going to get in the future. Their needs from the past are still the same needs, but there are different ways to meet those needs. And we have to show leadership on this. And this is the biggest challenge, I think, to the mayors. We have to show some leadership on this.
Thank you, Mayor Redekop. Okay.
I agree that it's going a certain way, and not to get in any kind us, and where you know, I work with Mayor Campion and Mayor Maloney and now Fee over this issue is you take a place like Wainfleet, and so healthcare is changing. We understand that it's evolving, but it's you know, it impacts us, and everybody knows this. I'm not saying anything anybody here doesn't already know, but you know, it's the distance for us. It's the distance to that care. And Frank and I always go back to the emergency factor. If there's an emergency, and I'll say it over and over again, Niagara Falls is far to go. It's too much of a distance, and the same for St. Catharines. And I live on Morgan's Point to St. Catharines. It's 50 minutes, 50 minutes, and to the proposed site, it's 45 minutes. And I just don't think that that's acceptable. And I think it almost comes down, in some instances, to a human rights issue, that we deserve timely access to care. So, and I think that's where Frank and I have been coming from, you know, on keeping the Welland Hospital open and having, you know, at minimum ambulances still being able to go there in case of an emergency. And a lot of people know in Wainfleet that we did, through the region, we have a first responder community paramedic that is there throughout the week. It's 12 hours, 7 days a week, and that has been a blessing. And in their downtime, they go out to our seniors and to people who aren't well, and they check on them, and they develop that rapport, and now they're actually connecting with their local doctors. So again, that is kind of an example of how healthcare is changing, and I'm all for that. But when it comes down to the dire emergencies, I think we still have a long way to go on sorting this out. So those are my comments.
Thank you, Mary Jess. Good, we'll move right on here. Can we get a 20-second answer on the issue of, no, okay. On Grow South Niagara, we've been hearing that there's some changes. Could somebody fill us in on Grow South Niagara strategy?
20 seconds. Grow South Niagara was sort of a term that was coined about 10 years ago, maybe a little bit less, when the region was looking at something called Niagara 2031. So it was planning for the future. We're now doing that again, Niagara 2041, 25 years from now. What will Niagara look like? I actually spoke about this a little bit in the committee meeting, and saying this is our opportunity for all of Niagara to say, what do we want to be? So we know now that GO is going to be here, all right? So let's plan around that. Are we going to have rapid transit in Niagara? If so, let's plan for it in 25 years. What about the Mid-Penn corridor, or the Niagara GTA corridor? Is that in or out? Are we planning for that? And the connection between the QEW and the 140. So all of those, this is our opportunity to plan, and then what that means is then that the development and initiatives around those corridors can be planned in terms of planning documents. I was in Waterloo and Kitchener, I know it's longer than 20 seconds, Waterloo and Kitchener a couple of months ago, and they have the rapid transit, light rapid transit that's going through there. $1.5 billion they're spending, but their assessment lift, so their assessment growth on that line is $2.5 billion. They're just planning, and it's growing, and all of that. So that's the kind of transformational change that can occur, and we're working on that. So it's really about grow for Niagara, whether it's grow south or north. We have to do it so that it makes sense for all of Niagara.
Thank you, Mayor Dave. Well said.
If I get it, one thing that we should be addressing too is the PSWs, the provincially significant wetlands. We've got a major issue in Niagara South where we've got two provincial policies colliding. One of economic development. We've got economic gateways and gateway zones, and then we've got provincially significant wetlands. The problem is you can't have both at the same time. And we have to obviously protect our wetlands. We have to be just as vigilant protecting our economic gateways and gateway zones. So we've gone to the province saying, which is it? Is it a wetland or is it employment lands? Because you can't have both, and especially along the QEW and all the highway corridors, the 140, which is it? We have to pick. So that's why right now I'm happy to say the Conservation Authority is at least looking at how we can work with wetlands through biodiversity offsetting. What are our options to protect employment lands and wetlands because the problem is if you have too many little pockets of wetlands, you can't develop and you can't build plants, you can't create jobs. So it's a big political one. We brought it to the province. We're trying to, unfortunately, the way they originally determined if it was wetland was by flying over in an airplane. Yeah, very scientific. So now we're trying to get them to actually get out, put on the rubber boots, and walk through the bogs and figure out what's a wetland and what's just a wet area where the farmer didn't take care of the culvert. And we've got some old situations. So that is putting a little bit of an issue with some of our employment lands and our development, because we need to address the employment lands.
Thank you, Mayor Diodati. Lastly, we have closing comments from our mayors, so we're going to have to really be careful, and we can all start screaming if they go too long. But here's an opportunity for our mayors to perhaps lend some comment to something that wasn't covered that they'd like to bring forth. But 2 minutes, and we'll start at the other end with Mayor Jeffs this time. Thank you.
I think we pretty much covered it. I'm glad we had such a fulsome discussion about the hospital issue, and I won't go back into it again, but I think it's the first time that we've ever been really honest up here about it. Other years we've kind of talked high level, but it is something that is a concern, and we're not all aligned on. But I want to echo what Mayor Diodati said earlier about us working together at the region. And it's true, and it might not, we still talk way too much. There is a lot of long discussion happening that's dragging our meetings. So I suggest everybody send in an email and complain about that. No? Okay. So, but we are very unified at the region. We have been getting along really well. And we don't see it that often in the paper, but I think it's been great. And I've really enjoyed so far this term of council. And like I say, when we're talking about these issues, we're not all in agreement, but we are trying to slowly kind of move along to find some sort of consensus, because at the end of the day, that's what's most important to the taxpayer, instead of us all arguing over things. So I'm glad that you mentioned that, Jim Diodati, earlier. So I'll hand it over to B.
Thank you, Nicole. I just wanted to mention I haven't had a meeting yet officially at the region, because I wasn't sworn in by our council until Monday evening, but I have sat as a public sitting in, I wasn't allowed on that Callie ground. But this Thursday will be my first meeting. I failed to mention in my earlier comments that we had 2 Niagara Entrepreneurs of the Year awards, and they were from Port Colborne, and Andrew Beanstra, he got an agricultural award, and Wayne Elliott for environmental. So that was really great to have 2 from the city of Port Colborne receive those awards. Port Colborne is open for business. We are developing lands. We've got plans in place. I want to welcome you all to our beautiful city. It was really nice having all of you here and to see a full crowd. Please keep John in your prayers, all of you, because the power of prayer does a lot of things. And we are welcoming him back soon. As soon as his physician gives him the okay, he'll be back in that chair, because let me tell you, that's a big chair to fill. And I've enjoyed so far my council meetings, and so I'm looking forward to working with all the regional. A few things I want to say to them, but I have to wait till another meeting. But thank you.
I can't wait to go for a beer with B. This is going to be interesting. I just want to say thank you, because you're here, and you're here to listen to what our plans are and how we're working together. And if you like or you have ideas, you're going to tell us. And this is what's important, that we have the ongoing dialogue, not just every 4 years when we're looking to get reelected. It's to make sure that we're always hearing, especially from the business community. We need to hear it, because it's all about jobs and job creation. And when people have got money in their pocket, food in the fridge, the birds seem to chirp a little nicer, the flowers seem to be a little prettier, and it's important that everybody has that same economic opportunity. And it's up to us to make good decisions, and it's up to you to give us good input to make good decisions. So the fact that you're here today means a lot. I just want to say thank you. I appreciate you being here.
Well, I was going to say roughly what Jim just said. But I do want to comment on you taking the time out of your day to be here with us. It's important for us to have such a quality audience to speak to. When I look around the room, there's so many leaders in the community that I've seen over and over and over again. project, so you're very dedicated people. I'm also really happy to see that the college and Niagara College and Broad University are here in numbers. You know, it shows their dedication and partnership with the business community and also with the political community. One thing I did neglect to mention, I believe, was the fact that I think I have more representatives here from the city of Welland than anybody else. We've got 2 tables over there, but also that we do have a new CAO in Welland, Gary Long, and we're very happy to have him here and certainly making, as I keep telling everybody, it was a fantastic investment on our part to get Gary involved in our community. So again, thank you very much for being here, and I appreciate your support.
So just to build on those comments, as you can see, there's a lot of great things happening in South Niagara. A lot of activity, a lot of job growth happening and potential developments, etc. And you also see that we work together very well together, and welcome Bea to Regional Council, working together with her, and also obviously the best to John. You see that we have fun, and bring it to Regional Council. It's important that we do have fun because we are representing you, and we do so tirelessly. And it's a pleasure to see many of you here year after year after year to get this update. So thank you very much for coming. And I do want to say on behalf of all, thank you very much to the Chamber as well for hosting, and to Penn Financial and the other sponsors. Let's give Penn Financial another round of applause.
Thank you, Dave, and I also want to echo those comments with respect to the Chamber and Penn Financial. I happen to be a proud member of Penn Financial, and they're doing well with my money so far. And I want to thank the moderator for keeping us all in line and giving us extra time when we required it. You know, we also, aside from us getting along, we also get along with the other mayors in North Niagara. And I know some of you in this room are from North Niagara, you work in North Niagara, you're out and about the region. So you're somewhat like us. We tend to assume that the people in the north of the region understand as much about us as we know about us. That isn't the fact. The reality is that many people, officials in the northern part of Niagara, do not understand what goes on in South Niagara. So bear that in mind the next time you're chatting with a friend or meeting with a friend or having a beer with a friend, that if they're from the north, they may not understand what's down here. Take the opportunity to educate them, because it's something that we have to deal with. You touched on the Grow South strategy. I can tell you right now, we have a different view of the Grow South strategy than the people in the north, and that includes the elected representatives. So that's the challenge between now and next year. So when we meet again next year, our question to you will be, whose minds did you change? Thank you.
We'll now call on Paul Sotil to have some closing remarks. Paul?
Thank you, Vern. On behalf of the Welland, Pelham, Fort Erie, Port Colborne, Wainfleet, and the Niagara Falls Chambers of Commerce, we'd like to thank the mayors of our respective municipalities for participating in today's luncheon and panel. Conversations like this aren't always easy, so we do appreciate the time and the effort put forth by all of you. This type of forum does allow for a more open dialogue between politicians and business. As chambers representing the southern tier of Niagara, that dialogue is critical in ensuring that not only our concerns, but also our support is heard. We look forward to working with our mayors in an ongoing effort to make certain that our uniqueness in the South is not only recognized, but also embraced. I'm also happy to announce that next year we're going to be in Niagara Falls, Mayor Diodati, hopefully around a campfire. Thank you, and have